Guess what? If you feel like you're stuck, that's actually a code word for being depressed. And what's being depressed? It is stuck, right? You're stuck in the where? The past. You're stuck in the past. The thing that we need to get to, though, is what are you stuck in the past about? What was the situation? Who was the person? What was the circumstances? What happened to you in the past that you're still stuck on? That you're still attached to mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically? You're not giving yourself permission to move forward. You find the answer to that, and you will definitely start moving in a positive direction. But if you're not willing to look in the past and to really get to the root of what is going on inside of you, then that's denial. And, there's a lot of things that can be done, even in those cases and situations, right? You really find yourself that stuck, that down, that depressed. And I've talked about it before, man. It's like depression, especially in men, is very underdiagnosed, right? Because even doctors are like, man, you're a man, suck it the fuck up. You crying about this or you whining about that? Go being a little bitch. I mean, even doctors are not quick to put men with the diagnosis of depression. But the other part of that is men don't even like to go to the doctor and definitely have a hard time asking for help. I can tell you I'm really proud of everyone, especially men, that have reached out to me privately, one-on-one. Maybe you're someone that needs to do that. I think a lot of people freak out with the fact that I am the real deal. Like, if you reach out to me, we set up a one-on-one, here's what I ask. It's very plain and simple. You reach out, that takes a lot of courage. You schedule a one-on-one and you show the fuck up. That's it. Yeah, you're gonna be nervous. Yeah, anxiety's gonna be there. I've had a few people flake, which, it's one of those things. It'll come back to you and I release it. But when people do shit like that, it's kind of fucked up. You don't value someone else's time. And I've rolled with it. There's been times that, I'm over here kind of moving my shit around to be present for somebody. And then they flake on me and I'm like, fuck, I moved all this shit around. And the reason why it's like, fuck, is because I like to help people. I like to connect to people. This is my spiritual gift. And so that's why I allow myself to be out there and to really connect. I've had some very deep, not so worried about time and money and all this weird shit that goes on, right? If you want to hire me long term, 3 months, 6 months, then that is going to be a monetary deal. My time is worth something, worth a lot. But at least me just wanting to help you start to move forward. And it really is, it is a heart project for me. I do feel that, you help someone out in this world and there's not really it's not always this monetary exchange, but just helping somebody by connecting with them, letting them feel seen and heard for maybe the first time ever. That's going to come back to me. So I don't stress. I do stress when people don't when they schedule and then they just don't even show up, as if somehow it didn't even exist. And I get it. It's hard. It's hard to ask for help. It's scary. It's scary asking for help, ain't it? Because to ask for help, that means you gotta feel like something's really wrong. And a lot of you are in denial. And a lot of you are self-medicating. And a lot of you are just sitting there stuck, staying in a state of constant distraction. And you know that none of that is gonna solve any of your problems. None of that's gonna address the things. If your team wins the fucking biggest, best fucking game of the year, you're gonna wake up tomorrow and how is that gonna really shift your existence? It's not gonna get you unstuck, I promise you that. It won't get you unstuck. Because the only way you get unstuck is by getting unstuck. And that means you gotta face whatever it is that you're stuck to in your past. And I am telling you, you got so much fucking power to do this. You have so much power to be able to redefine whatever the fuck hurt you. This is a spiritual experience that we're all having. And here's some hard truth about it, is that at the soul level, your soul and the person's soul that's involved in whatever hurt you, because it's just not from anything. It always has to do with somebody, it's somebody. Your soul and their soul agreed for whatever happened to happen. Do you hear that? And when I say hear it, I mean, I'm not saying in your fucking ears. I'm saying in your heart and in your soul. That whatever happened, and even if you're the perpetrator, if you're the violator, right? You've hurt people. Like, there's guilt and pain and shame and suffering on both sides of the equation. Do we at least realize that? Right? Whether you're the person that's hurt people or you're the person that's been hurt. And the truth is, everyone's done both. Everybody has done both of those. Some things are more extreme than others, but that's not what it. I know some of you want to go on that witch hunt saying, but theirs was 10 times worse than mine. Fuck. Just understand that at the soul level, your soul and the other person's soul agreed, said, we love each other so much. Let's agree to do these things to each other in order for us to make it back here to love each other again. Oh no. The person you said you hate so much and will never love again because they hurt you, they broke your heart, they violated you. You actually do love each other forever and ever and ever and ever and forevermore. Oh no. That can't be true. Why don't you test it? Why don't you test it? Why don't you do some of that inner work? Why don't you start doing some of that journaling? Why don't you reach out and ask for some help? Why don't you do some therapy? Why don't you really get to what happened and how, if that hadn't happened, you wouldn't be where you're at now. But the thing is it's not about where you're at now. It's where do you want to be and how do you want your story to end? And you want to know what's at the root in all of this? The more stuck you are, the more addicted you are to shit, the more negative you are, it's all rooted in one thing. You have forgotten to love yourself. Someone else doesn't need to love you to heal that. Your whole purpose is to learn how to cultivate love for yourself. Self-love. It sounds so easy, huh? I hope I make it sound easy, because it really is. I really don't think people should be so scared of their own shadow, be scared of their own past, feeling like you're never going to get over something. It's like, well, if that's your attitude, then yeah, you'll never get over it. Okay, I agree. If you feel like you'll never get over something, then you'll never get over something. But then I talk to someone else and they say, you know what? It's been a long time. I'm ready to get over something. And guess what? They get over it. So it is all up to you whether you want to get over it or not get over it. It is all up to you. No one else. No one else gets to choose. And it doesn't matter how many people have hurt you. It doesn't matter how many narcissists have taken advantage of you. Even in those narcissistic situations that you're so hung up on, your soul, their soul, you both agreed to it. And you're both victims, right? Everyone's guilty. And everyone needs forgiveness. It's the craziest thing when you forgive someone that's hurt you. And I'm not talking about crawling on your hands and knees, begging someone that hurt you for forgiveness. Don't go to those extremes. You can do it right here, right now on your own. You can do this right now on your own, in your heart of hearts, in your mind of minds. You can just envision that person and let them know that you forgive them. You love them. And you can even ask them to say, I'm sorry. You can say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You don't understand. I do understand. I do understand. I understand that what I just said will change your life. Will set you free. It'll set you free. Why do you even care about what the other person receives on the other side of that? It sets you free. You're the one that's stuck. I'm not worried about them at this moment. If they come across the channel, I'm going to tell them the same thing. Right? Forgive people that hurt you. Seek forgiveness for people you hurt. It's taking an inventory. We all need to do this inventory. Because at the soul level, all of these people are our teachers. They are our soul tribe. These are people that we love. And that sounds so crazy, but think about it. Where have you experienced the most pain? From total fucking strangers? Or from people that you say you love? Who's hurt you the most? It's the people that you love. We all know this. You don't receive a lot of pain from strangers. Most of you don't give two fucks about somebody that's a stranger. So then why wouldn't it make sense at the soul level that the people that come in and cause you pain is because it was an agreement for your life experience? Because you trust that person, you love that person, you love their soul, your souls are connected. And y'all said, hey, let's go and take it a step further this time. Let's do a step further. Let's go ahead and cause each other the pain so that we can get back to love. So that we can get back to love. We can go through the pain process, but ultimately we'll find our own self-love. The self-love. And what does that take? To love yourself, you don't need nobody else. You don't need anybody else. You just gotta give yourself permission. But you gotta be honest with yourself. You gotta know that you've hurt people. People have hurt you. Okay. Check. You gotta be able to seek forgiveness from the people you've hurt. Forgive the people that have hurt you. Check. Okay. And then you got to realize that attached to all of those experiences and those people, you have literally wounded yourself mentally and emotionally and spiritually and physically. And you have to undo that. You have to stop causing yourself harm. And that's what self-love is you no longer harm yourself. And no longer harming yourself can be something as simple as you start eating healthy. Like you literally, if you're carrying around a whole bunch of extra weight, you're really obesely unhealthy. There's no love there. You're eating your emotions, you're overeating. There's something underneath the surface at the soul level that you're like, come on now. You're causing yourself harm. When you love yourself, you're like, you know what a good balance of intake is. You know what overdoing it is. And it never feels good. You also know that you need to exercise, right? And exercise comes in so many different forms. It doesn't have to just be lifting the weights, even though that is the best way to really build muscle, keep muscle, be strong, lose weight. It's through the weights. Lift the weights, drop the pounds, guaranteed. It's the best way to do it. But sitting there knowing that your life is filled with a bunch of bad habits, right? And I'm not over here trying to fucking just guilt trip you. There's no guilt. There's no shame in what I'm saying. I'm just shining a light on your life. The same light that needed to be shined in my life. And I couldn't do it with a bunch of guilt and shame. You already do that to yourself. You're full of guilt. You're full of shame. And that's why you're not taking care of yourself. That's why you don't show yourself love. Showing yourself love isn't all the bad habits that you have. Isn't staying stuck. If you truly loved yourself, just think about it, somebody else. You externalize yourself. Imagine that you knew someone that you really fucking cared about, and they were really hurting, and they were really stuck. What advice would you give to somebody that you actually cared about? Would you tell them, oh, well, let's go get drunk. Let's go eat a bunch of unhealthy food this weekend, and let's just go do some casual hookups and you'll feel fucking way better. You know what's sad is there's a lot of motherfuckers out there giving out advice like that. I talked to someone recently and it's sad that there's some pretty bad characters out there giving out advice. So I can understand why a lot of you are guarded in terms of reaching for help, because there is a lot of bad characters, but I believe those characters are starting to fall and fall fast, because we've been dealing with that shit for far too long, right? Hyping people up that don't have nothing to be hyped about and leaving us just more empty, more broken on ourselves, versus a message that truly speaks life into you, that wants to see you feel your best, be your best, do life on life's terms, overcome your emotional pain, your spiritual pain, your physical pains, your mental pain, and to heal yourself, to be your best self. And if you were someone that actually says you give a shit about somebody, you wouldn't fucking give them shit advice to be like, nah, man, what you need is some alcohol, some drugs. You just need to get fucked up. You just need to go have some casual sex. Some of y'all are like, fuck, man, that sounds great. I was there. I know I was there. Sure, yeah, that sounds great. But on the other side of it, it doesn't feel great. So there can be some sarcasm in reality, but when something sounds great, but when something is going to really feel great. And that's the biggest flex. Doing life on life's terms is literally being present with all that God has given you. And saying that, I don't need to I don't need to distort myself. I don't need to get fucked up. I don't need to just relieve some stress by drinking poison. That don't do it for me, man. The poison. And y'all think it's cool because it's been packaged a million different ways, and celebrities and sexy people are out there getting drunk, get some drink. And it's like, it's poison. It's poison. It's ethanol. It's poison. Your body hates it. Your body fucking hates it, right? And if you're someone that's already depressed, man, that's like the last thing you should be fucking around with. Alcohol. Alcohol is not an antidepressant. It's definitely something that's gonna stimulate your depression. I almost ate shit just right now. Held it together. Climbing up this kind of rocky river. So it is a little unstable. But I'm stable. On all levels. Does that make my life perfect? Fuck no. But I face challenges as they come. And I get stronger every single day by doing that. And you can do the same. It's not about saying, well, fuck, I'm not as good as him. Get that shit out of your head. It's saying that what you see in me also exists in you. We're not different in that regard. You can accomplish anything that I've accomplished. You want 13 years of sobriety? You can have 13 years of sobriety. You can have 30 years of sobriety. Right? You want to drop 60 pounds? That's probably about what I've dropped when I was like the fattest I ever had become, man. And I don't ever want that back. I'm 46 years young, you know? I'm picking up over 500 pounds deadlifts and just feeling great. Just doing life on life's terms. It's incredible. It's incredible. If getting drunk, getting high came anywhere near just what it is to just be in your God-given energy, I'd do it. But the problem is that I have filled myself with a lot of self-love. I'm continuing to love myself, learn new ways to love myself, deeper levels of love, because that's what this experience does to you. Every single day is a new day. When we say 1%, it's like 1% more. And a lot of people aren't used to really staying locked in like that. And at least that sort of lowers the bar, where it's not so overwhelming. But most of you get so hyped up on yourselves that you don't even want to get started, because you are staring at the fucking mountain instead of just the first small step right in front of you. You're overwhelmed by the mountain. Don't look at the fucking mountaintop. Just know that the view from up there is going to be so incredible. And just like I've come up this mountain, I am walking up a mountain right now. The view up here is incredible. It's an incredible view up here, man. It's just so scenic. Look at that. It's an incredible view. It's not the same as from down there, right? And your life is going to be that same incredible view, because this journey, this spiritual awakening path of healing, the inner work, is one foot in front of the other, but it's an uphill climb. And that's why all you got to do, you don't even got to get up to the top of Mount Everest on fucking day one. Knock that shit off. That's a part of self-sabotage, right? We know this. Setting the bar too high. All you gotta do is take one step. Every day though. Every day. And usually that one step, you know what it is? The first like 100 steps along this journey is literally evaluating the things that you're no longer going to do, that you know is just kind of wasting your time and hurting you. It's usually a process of releasing things that are no longer in alignment with this vision for you to become the highest version of yourself. That's what it really takes. And the way that you can release those things with a lot more ease and grace is by figuring out what things you really, really love to do. Showing yourself some love. Instead of sitting there watching the game, why don't you go get a fucking massage? Why don't you go for a hike out in nature? And then at least if you watch a game, then you have at least done something new to honor this body. And then maybe you know, then you get into what? So maybe some healthy meal prep. Going to the store, swerving on all kinds of bullshit ingredients, right? Packaged foods. Maybe you start skipping out on fast foods, restaurants. Shit, you might even save some money in the process. There's a lot of things you can do. And so when you're stuck, it's because you want to be stuck. And if you want to get unstuck, you need to figure out what is the thing you're stuck to. Are you stuck to the heartbreak? Are you stuck to, you know, being abused as a kid? Are you stuck to, you know, losing your job? Are you stuck to some kind of an accident happening, some kind of a health thing? What are you stuck to? Comment down below. What are you stuck to? Because the more you face that, and then if you get out your pen and your paper, holy shit, we can start redefining these things. We can start redefining what these things mean to us. You can't just scribble it and sweep it under the rug. That's already where it's at. If you want to find what you're stuck to, probably go look under the rug because you swept it there a long time ago and you just keep stomping on it and thinking that somehow you're going to feel better about yourself. It doesn't work that way. The way that you feel better about yourself is by facing yourself and spending enough time focusing on who you are, looking in the mirror, looking within. And the more time you spend doing that, you got to do it with some compassion. You got to do it with some grace. You can't do it with judgment. You can't do it with the critical spirit. You got to see yourself for who you are, but you got to know that, guess what? There is something better inside of you. You are capable of so much, so much more. That's what I told myself. When I hit my rock bottom, are you kidding me? When I got arrested, I'm like, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I know that I know I'm better than this. And I'm about to change. And it's taken me 13 years to get to this place. And every day, I just get a little better. And I keep getting better. There's no stop. Because this ain't even an agreement with just me and myself. You got to involve God, and God has a plan for you. If you're hearing this message, you're being called. Have you ever heard the saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear? Well, if I have appeared in your life, I am absolutely a spiritual teacher. I'm a coach, I'm a mentor, I'm a guide. And yet, there's probably a pretty good chance that somewhere along this rocky path, you are, if that was just an example of life. Somewhere down along that path is where you are. And all I've done is figured out how to get a little higher up on the path. Doesn't make me better. I've just put in more work. I've been a little more relentless. And yet I'm here to teach. I'm here to guide. But nothing's going to change if you're not ready. So if you're not ready, then carry on. At some point when you're ready, the beautiful thing about this technology is this message will be here. And future ones will be here too. And it'll be ready when you're ready. Because I'm ready. I'm here. I'm now. I'm teaching. I'm inspiring. I'm coaching. I'm helping people get unstuck. But they do all the work. I'm just there to guide, to coach, to mentor, to hold accountable, to inspire, for you to maybe borrow some of my courage, some of my confidence to get through some tougher moments, right? To at least I think for a lot of people I work with, maybe it's just being able to believe in humanity once again, right? Because we've been hurt. A lot of people have been hurt. Opening up and being vulnerable with people they care about, that's a huge mistake. Don't do that. Don't share your shit with people that you love. And I'm not saying that to isolate you from people you love. I'm just letting you know that chances are, if you have a lot of unhealed trauma, the people that you have in your life, the law of attraction, also have a lot of unhealed trauma. And so unless they're willing to start on their own path, and you really do see them starting to transform in ways that you want to transform, then there's probably an opportunity for you to have those conversations. But you starting to just wanting to process these ideas of yours to say, I'm thinking about switching up. I wonder what this person's going to think about that. That's seeking external validation. That's a trauma response. That's you actually trying to talk yourself out of not doing it, because you're going to people you know are going to be intimidated, because that's what happens. Way back when I got sober, I lost so many fucking friends. They were like, oh, too good for us, are we? Too good for us, huh? No more drinking for you, huh? Okay, we'll see how long that lasts, right? They didn't like that shit. And so that was a lonely season of getting sober. But knowing that that's what mattered most. Nobody was fucking paying my bills. No one was comforting me in on my darkest nights. No one gave a fuck. Misery loves company. So when they're like, oh, you're too good for us, guess what? That was it. There's been very little contact since. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Maybe you're not. And maybe that's why you're going to just stay where you are, stuck for the rest of your life. It doesn't change mine. You choosing to be stuck for the rest of your life doesn't change mine. You choosing to say, I need help, also doesn't change my life. That's the law of detachment. I'm detached from the outcomes, whether you're for me or against me, whether you want to work with me or unsubscribe, whatever you want to do, go do it. I'm set free, and so can you. You can be set free from all the pressure, from all the worry about acceptance and belonging somewhere. You need to belong to yourself, and when you do that, it's magnetic. And guess what? Real people that really see you for who you are will show up. It's magic. Not all the fake shit that you're used to. Not all the fake shit, people using each other. You're talking about people really building each other up, caring for each other, like from the heart space, man, from the real soul level. Like, man, I see you, I feel you, I accept you, I don't judge you, right? I got a big heart for you. I mean, real shit. And then to back it up, because there's a lot of people that say, oh, I got a big heart, this and that. And it's like, well, you also got a big body, you also got a big ego, and you also got, a big bag of negativity that comes out when ain't nobody ready for it. That's just real talk. That's what we do here at Results Kill Excuses. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, share the message, download the app, and it is not too late. It is never too late. Well, I don't want to say that. I can just tell you it's not too late. If you're someone that's thinking about journaling, I guarantee you I have the greatest resource on planet Earth right now called the Results Kill Excuses 1% Better Everyday Journal. It is incredible. It will help you to start shifting from your negative thinking, reprogramming all that negativity. It'll help you to even start holding yourself accountable in little micro doses, little things that matter to you every single day. That's how you get unstuck. And on top of that, there's a whole 91-day program from self-sabotage to self-mastery that you can start doing some real deep reflecting on your life experience so that you can really start seeing with clear eyes. But ain't none of that gonna matter if you're not somebody that's willing to do life on life's terms. And what I mean by that is getting sober as a motherfucker, which is going back to your God-given energy, mindset, state of being. Life on life's terms. No escape routes. It takes that. It really does take that. And if that's where the rubber meets the road, so be it. If that's where you turn back, so be it. It took me hitting rock bottom 1 time, 2 times, 3 times to say no fucking more. No more. 3 times was the charm. I'm good. I'm not even, it's not about even being a good boy. It's about becoming the best version of me. It's about being a good man. It's about actually reparenting myself, loving myself so unconditionally that I can show up and love you, right? And I'm not trying to change you. I'm just letting you know that to get here, it takes that. It takes what I'm saying. Whether you want to do it or not, that's your power. That's your choice. I love you regardless of what choice you make from here on out. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.